Okay, so yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, Marvel was at CinemaCon, and they dropped a lot of stuff. And I think a lot of people got very excited about this online, so I want to break it down for you. We're going to talk about what was shared, what was seen, how fans are reacting to it. We're going to talk about the whole thing, okay? I was critical of Kevin on the red carpet for the Marvels. I felt like he didn't handle some of those questions the best way. And I'm just going to say it. I was like, where is White Suge Knight? Where is White Suge Knight? This guy's my fucking GOAT. And it felt like he had kind of shrunk a little bit from the moment. And things have been, you know, kind of bad. I think we saw at CinemaCon yesterday the return of White Suge Knight, okay? And let me explain. The attitude's different. He mentions going off teleprompter. The whole thing starts with a Deadpool, Wolverine, fourth wall breaking thing where they're both swearing at the audience. Kevin Feige himself, while introducing Sean Levy, was like, let's talk about Deadpool 3. It's fucking awesome. And I can say it's fucking awesome because it's R-rated. To me, I was like, damn, like as a fan, this has been a cool week. You got Robert Downey Jr. Coming in and gassing up Feige. Don't bet against Feige. He's the house. He will always win. You will always lose. That felt pretty good. And as a big Marvel fan that's been so goddamn sick of the Kevin Feige slander, I'm sick of it. Some of it's deserved. I'm still sick of it. It was nice to feel like he was talking his shit in. It felt good. He comes out, talks a little bit about Fantastic Four. I think the only real thing that's going on with Fantastic Four is it's coming out next year. They're going to film it in a couple of months. That's pretty much it. Then he's talking about Thunderbolts. Not a lot said about Thunderbolts. Okay, we've got an asterisk. We got an asterisk in the Thunderbolt title, and apparently that means something. And they will reveal it after the movie comes out. I'm not going to focus on that one too much because what the fuck? Like, if anybody knows why that's cool or why I should be excited, please let me know in chat because I have no idea. I was like, okay, we're just gonna move right past that one. Okay, so then we get footage from Captain America, and I'll pull this up. We can go over it together. But the one thing I'll say about Captain America right away, before we kind of even get into the description, is they're comparing it to the Winter Soldier. I believe Mackie said this. Maybe it was Feige as well, but like they're putting it out there. You cannot just say that. You are talking about probably to this day the best movie they have ever made. A movie that changed the vibe on Captain America. A movie that changed the vibe for the entire MCU. So if you make that comparison, if you evoke that comparison in any way, shape, or form, you have got to back that up. My thought on this, and the impression that I got from reading through the Twitter and people that were there and what was said, is that they mean it. They probably spent an extra $100 million to try to get there. They delayed the movie into next year again, and they now have me kind of like when you're playing your brother or your cousin in the video game, and all of a sudden they start winning, and you sit up. Like, that's kind of what it is for me. I'm standing at attention now. You have my curiosity, so you better follow through on that. So let's talk through the description. CinemaCon got to see the very first footage from Captain America: Brave New World. The clip was shown follows Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, meeting Thunderbolt Ross, Harrison Ford, who is now the president at the White House. Ross is asking to meet with Wilson so he can reunite the Avengers with a new Captain America at the forefront. He's looking to unite forces, but he might have some ulterior motives unknown to everyone else. During a meeting where Ross is presenting this plan to a crowd with Sam in attendance, a mysterious villain takes over the speakers and controls the minds of Secret Service agents. Full chaos ensues, which leads us to a montage of different action set pieces of the film. We see Sam getting attacked at the White House, using his shield to block himself from multiple Secret Service agents trying to tase him. Okay. We see shots of Sam Wilson and Joaquin Torres in action together. Everything builds up to a tense confrontation between Sam and Thunderbolt Ross inside the Oval Office, wherein Ross tells him, "You're not Steve Rogers." After a long pause, Sam says, "You're right, I'm not." Finally, we see Sam suit up in the new Captain America suit, which is more silver and blue than white. Also, too, there was another scene, and this is not in this description. Let's see if we can find it here. There's also a description of Isaiah Bradley going nuts. It appears what's going on is some of the Secret Service people are either co-opted by like Hydra or something. The description I heard was a certain kind of music plays, and then Isaiah Bradley goes f***ing nuts. He like slams homie through the table, and he goes really, really crazy. So it seems like what we're getting here is a continuation of that Winter Soldier stuff, right? It could be the leader. It absolutely could be the leader. It could be, you know, Manchurian Candidate type stuff and a little bit more of that Winter Soldier Hydra brainwashing that's going on. And I think technically Isaiah Bradley might have had some of those protocols put in because apparently he was wild back in the day. And they talk about this a little bit in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, okay? A lot of that stuff sounds cool. Here's the thing. You're still just going to have to show me. I think a lot of us are going to show up for this movie, and I think the trailers will be cool. I think the promotion will be cool. But a lot of us still have a lot of questions here, and I think we're just really unsure of it. But having said that, they appear to be walking the walk as well as talking the talk. They've spent a long time on this. They're revamping action sequences. You know, it's going to have that kind of grounded aesthetic. I think it could work. I think the reality of the situation with this movie is Marvel needs it to be the next Winter Soldier. They're putting a lot into it to make sure that it is the next Winter Soldier. I think if this movie works, Avengers 5, maybe Shang-Chi 2, some of these other things are going to work easier. And I think if this movie doesn't work, bro, just go right to Secret Wars. Let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. So, a couple of different things going on with Deadpool and Wolverine. I think Marvel knows it's fire. They know it's gas. They're excited. You got Kevin Feige dropping F-bombs. You've got Logan and Deadpool dropping F-bombs, doing a fourth wall break to start the thing off, right? Well, then they show 9 minutes of the actual movie. And it appears this 9 minutes is all around the trailer. So it's a little bit before the trailer and a little bit of an extension after the trailer. So it's like 9 minutes of the film, all from that one spot of like the birthday party and stuff like that. So let's now read the description and we'll react to this together. Captain America Winter Soldier music is playing in the background. Wade Wilson gears up to sell cars, and in the car, riding in the back between two kids, he curses about the car while describing it and jokes that he doesn't have a lot of vaginal sex. This absolutely offends the family of four. Peter is back seeing Wade back at the lockers and suggests he go back to superheroing. Wade says, "I'm done and I'm fine with being done." He does admit, "Is this the life I always imagined for myself? Fuck no." Elsewhere in New York, Peter and Wade ride bikes. "We're Deadpool," Peter tells him, which Wade disputes. Someone across the street is taking photos of them, and Wade notices, denying that today being his birthday is throwing him off. In his apartment, a surprise party is waiting for him. "If this was 5 years ago, you'd all be dead," he jokes. Shatterstar is there, not entertained by Dopinder's stories. Blind Owl asks Wade about his sales and is getting impatient about waiting for money from him. "I pray every day that fire finds your body and finishes the job that God didn't have the nuts to do," she tells him. Nice. Colossus has been watching the Great British Bake Off. Negasonic and Yuko are still together. Blind Owl wants to do cocaine, and Wade says, "Cocaine is the one thing Feige said is off limits." Wade catches up with Vanessa, who is seeing a guy named Dermot. Wade is left sad before talking to the group. It's been a challenging few years, he says, but I'm happy and that's because of each and every one of you. And this is about how proud I am, how grateful I am to be standing in a room with every single person I love. I'm the luckiest man alive. He makes a wish and blows out the candle. Someone knocks at the door. It's the TVA. Wade thinks they're strippers and that their pruning sticks are for pegging. A portal opens and Wade is pulled through it. He wakes up to Paradox sitting across from him. We're in charge of defending what's known as the sacred timeline, Paradox says, also proceeding to explain, but then is interrupted by Wade. That's a shit ton of exposition for a threequel. Is this because I used Cable's time device, Wade says? The TVA is aware of the abuse of the timeline, but this has nothing to do with that. Instead, Paradox claims Wade can save the entire timeline. We're really a watchdog organization. We're in charge of defending the sacred timeline. You've been chosen for a higher purpose, one that could save the entire sacred timeline. I suppose I'm going to marvel seeing how cinematic this is with a load of indiscriminate, gratuitous cameos, Wade asks. Paradox tees up a footage of Captain America on the screens, and Wade salutes them. A clip of Thor hovering over Loki dying in Thor 2 sees Deadpool replacing Loki, and Wade is terribly concerned and confused. Paradox believes he is ready to leave his timeline and join the world he has always wanted to. I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei, Wade says. I'm a messiah. I am Marvel Jesus. Wade runs to the camera, pulls the mic from frame. He headbutts the lens and shatters it. He grabs the microphone saying, "F you, Fox, I'm going to Disneyland." And he gets a whole new suit in another room with a man with a stylish beard and some extra booty spanks. Yeah, we saw that. He now has adamantium katanas. Yes, your underwear is getting tighter, Wade declares. The footage cuts to another scene. Wolverine and Deadpool are riding together, and Deadpool mocks his suit. The X-Men make you wear that, he asks. Friends don't let friends leave the house looking like they play for the Los Angeles Rams. Logan responds, shut the fuck up. Okay, couple other things he had to add here. Forgot to include in my previous Deadpool Secret Wars post. There's a little more stuff in the opening PSA. Wolverine turns to the screen, threatens to shove the phone up our asses. Easy now. So much testosterone, says Deadpool, trying to calm him down. And thank God, because we've needed this testosterone in the fucking MCU. Like, thank God. Deadpool and Wolverine also call to mind the riotous banter between Charles Grodin and Robert De Niro in Midnight Run. Yeah, so in the opening thing, too, because this must be on a separate post, in the opening thing, Wade says, I hear in Secret Wars they're going to finally bring in, and then there's like a phone ringing in the audience. So I think they were talking about Dr. Doom there, but, you know, who knows? Kevin Feige also proceeds to drop multiple F-bombs as he introduced Deadpool and Wolverine. After almost a quarter of a century ago, working with Hugh Jackman again as Wolverine, it is incredible. It is extremely exciting, and I hope you don't mind if I say this, it's f***ing awesome. It's f***ing awesome, and the reason I can say it's f***ing awesome is because it's an R-rated movie. Sean Levy says it's pretty historic. We got him to say f*** 3 times. Somewhere, Ryan Reynolds is gleeful. So that is the description of what you get for Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, what's kind of interesting about that is they do tease some, you know, comic booky type things, and I think there's going to be a lot of juice like that. But the movie just seems like a fun movie, and a lot of what I saw from people on Twitter, like reacting to it, was more like, dude, this got the most laughs out of everything at CinemaCon. Like, it's genuinely really funny and genuinely really awesome, testosterone fueled. Like, I think it's going to be a big hit, but I don't know if it's going to be like this crazy. It's not Secret Wars, is I guess what I'm saying. Like, it's not Secret Wars. It is Deadpool and Wolverine. And seeing those characters finally together. And I don't know, man. It might be the perfect time for that. between what we're getting in X-Men 97, which I think is like a lot more adult than the old X-Men show. Even Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or rather Brave New World and Captain America seems to be going harder edge. You've got TVMA stuff coming, like with Daredevil. It almost seems like Marvel's entering into a phase of more mature, a little bit more hard R, or at least a hard PG-13 for some of these things. It might be the time. Like, it might be the time. And so that's the presentation. That's kind of everything. You know, it's not like literally everything. And there's no footage out there of it. There's no video of it out there. But we have the descriptions. They show footage for Captain America. People were impressed. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But people were impressed that were there. And then you have the footage of Deadpool and Wolverine. I think Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be a huge hit. I think it's a big deal for Marvel fans. I think it's going to be something we really enjoy. But there's still a lot of questions, right? There's still a lot of questions for what comes next after Marvel. But for me as a fan, this presentation, it felt good. It felt like a little bit of return to form, a little bit of that Hall H San Diego Comic-Con energy. And I definitely was excited. So that's kind of the breakdown of it and the description of the footage.